Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. I am Toastmaster Deepak Joseph, shall be your sergeant of arms for this meeting today. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As a protocol of Toastmasters International, you are requested to keep away from 3 taboo topics, that is sex, religion and politics during the meeting. Further, I request each and every one of you to switch off your mobile phones or to put them in silent mode to avoid distraction. Also, you are requested to be seated comfortably until you are called. With this note, now I call upon our President Toastmaster Rajesh Palikade, to the dais for offering address.
Good evening, members. And welcome guests. Good evening, especially Karen. Today, I think the euphoria is gone down. We're supposed to have this meeting in Albustan, and unfortunately, we are back here in the Samajam meeting. We'll continue here. And most of you are aware that Albustan is for time being closed with some their administration problem. So let us hope, cross our fingers, and we will hope they will open their venue for us. And today we are expecting our pathway guide, Toastmaster Para, is going to give the guidance for us about the pathway. So he will be expected somewhere around 8:30, and till then we will continue our meeting. And Toastmaster is the system is going to be changed, because now in advanced speeches, earlier it was used to take 2 subjects and we used to complete 5 projects in each for the advanced speeches. But now I think we have to select one, and in that 3 stages will be there. So you have to go stage by stage to get the advanced program. And again, one request is that whoever is giving for the project speeches, whoever is for the project speakers, if they are given their name, at least 1 week ahead you have to inform if you are cancelling your speech, so that we can give the chance to any other Toastmasters. And another humble request is there from our treasurer, because by March 31st we have to pay our dues. So treasurer is not here. Whoever brought the dues, they can give to Toastmaster Deepak. With that note, I open meeting once and today's Toastmastering will be done by our DTM, Toastmaster PO. He doesn't require any introduction. So let us welcome Toastmaster PO.
Thank you, President, for those kind words. Good evening, all of you, once again.
Good evening.
So, today I'm very pleased to see a lot of new faces. So, welcome to our Mussafah Toastmasters 175th club meeting today. And it will be slightly out of our regular meeting, because we will be having a 45 minutes training today about our new project, new program that is to be implemented very soon. It's called Pathway, and we will try to know what is Toastmasters all about, because we have got many new members. Recently, many new members have joined our club, so we'll be trying to learn more about Toastmasters today, the history, how it started, all these things. Then we will come to know what is Pathways all about. Okay, before that, normally, like our practice, let us follow some of our practices. We call our guests to a stage and they get an opportunity to introduce yourself. So you can willingly come to the stage, those who are coming to our club meeting first time. So one by one, please come to the stage and you can talk about yourself. How come you came to know about Toastmasters, and your name, from where you are and where you are working. So a small introduction. So I can see a lot of new faces today. Please, maybe we can start with our lady Toastmaster. Please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Krishnan. My name is Kumudu. I'm from Sri Lanka. I'm working in Navy job. I like doing this there.
How you came to know this class?
I want to learn like the speech.
Yes, she was following it, with me like for a couple of weeks. How to attend this meeting, so today she come to our club today. So let's all come here. Please. Yeah.
My name is Samajam. I am from Pakistan and I am a finance professional. I am working here in head office of Alam Supermarket. I just got to know about because one of my nephew in Saudi Arabia, he told me to join this one to learn. My child also is also there. So just it is my first this class, because I just want to learn and want to means remove my fear.
That's it.
Face.
That's why we all are here. All right. Please come and. Yeah. Okay. So we have
Good evening to all. Myself, Mr. Safir Abdullah. I am working as a service coordinator as government, and I just came to know through Mr. Roshan assessment fund. Just to want to know how to experience in my life.
Great.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I think anymore. So I think that's it, right? So now let us proceed. I believe everyone has got this agenda. Is there anyone without the agenda and ballot paper? We can circulate the ballot paper so that we will receive. Okay. There are small corrections in the agenda. The first role player. I'll announce the names whenever there is a change. The first role player is the timer. Toastmaster Naufal, can you please explain your role? What is all about the timer?
Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to you. Good evening. My role as a timer is to monitoring time during prepared speeches, table topics and evaluations. At the end of the meeting, I will report the times of each participant. This will let you know if you delivered your presentation within the allotted time frame. Thank you.
Thank you. So the second role player is our counter, and the role will be done by Toastmaster Vivek. Can you please explain the role of our counter? There's a change, it is written as Arun, so the name will be changed to Toastmaster Vivek now.
Good evening once again.
Good evening.
My role as a counter is to note and keep track of words and sounds used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks during the meeting. The use of inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, like, you know, as well as sound like will be met with an audible clip. I will note any use of the crutch or filler words mentioned in the meeting. Okay, thank you.
So basically, every time when we get an opportunity to speak on stage, in case if you make any repeated words or like you'll come with that report. So let us be very careful this time. Now the next role player is Word Master cum Grammarian. Again, there's a change in the role play. So this role will be done by Toastmaster Deepak. Yes.
Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests.
Good evening.
As a word master, I am responsible for providing a word of the day for the meeting. The word of the day should be a word that will help the members increase their vocabulary, a word that can be incorporated easily in their everyday conversations, but is different from the way the people usually express themselves. So today, the word we are introducing for this meeting is euphoria. The meaning of the word is a feeling or state of intense excitement or happiness. The synonyms are happiness, joy, delight, glee, jubilation. So let me put this in a sentence for your better understanding. It is a moment of great euphoria for me to take up multiple roles in this meeting. Another example is the euphoria of being a president's distinguished club is very unique. Now, I also have another role, that is a grammarian. So as the grammarian, I am responsible for commenting on the language used during the course of the meeting. Throughout the meeting, I will be listening to everyone's word usage, writing down any awkward use or misuse in the language, with a note of who heard in the end. So I will also give you a report towards the end of the meeting. So over to you. Thank you.
So it's again, he's trying to introduce a new word which we can use in our daily activities. So let's start from using today. And he will have a multiple role. Like the second role is like he will try to find, in case if we make a big major mistakes in the grammar or grammatical mistakes. So end of the meeting, end of the session, he will come up with that report. Okay, now let's move forward. The next role play is table topic master. Our great Toastmaster Dinesh, please explain the role.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. The euphoria should be there. My role, I just made an hour. My name is Dinesh Kumar. I will be your table topics master today. This is the fun portion of the meeting. It allows us to practice improve speaking skills, and table topics also allows us, every member who does not have a speaking role, to speak in the dais for first time or repeated times. You are all welcome to join the table topics. Thank you.
So basically, table topics is like once we start that program, you will be called to stage and voluntarily can come forward, and you will be given with a particular subject, and you need to speak on that subject for 3 minutes. So this is an improv speaking. Now let's move forward. The next role play is the quiz master. We have Toastmaster Sanil Haridas on the role as a quiz master today. Toastmaster Sanil.
Toastmaster, good evening. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, warm greeting to you all.
Good evening.
Today my role as a quiz master is to actively listen all the speakers' speeches and prepare few questions out of the speeches. These questions will be asked at the end of the meeting. And actually the role of the quiz master is to improve or the opportunity to provide all our fellow Toastmasters to practice and test their listening skill. Thank you. All the best.
And one of our major role player today, that is the general evaluator, considered as the principal of the school. Let's welcome Toastmaster Ramraj to listen from him what is all about the general Toastmasters. Sorry, the general evaluator.
Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening.
Good evening.
As a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the evaluation team, which consists of timer, grammarian, art counter, and prepared speech evaluators, and finally the Toastmaster of the evening. The role is a dual one of communication, evaluating the speech evaluators, and leadership, presiding over the evaluation portion of the meeting. Evaluation is an integral component of Toastmaster. There is no Toastmaster meeting without an evaluator. In fact, basically the evaluator role is to boost, to increase the morale of all the role players. And the goal of evaluation is to be positive, helpful, and to assist our fellow Toastmasters in developing their skills through feedback of the strength and growth points. Okay.
Thank you. So these are the general role players we have in every Toastmasters meeting. Whether me leading the meeting or someone else, this will be the generic format. Now, before we begin our serious session, we have something called Thought of the Day. That's done by Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster Igarani. Let us listen to her. Something to take home. A message from her. Please.
Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Good evening.
Good evening.
Once upon a time, a daughter complained to her father, her life was miserable and she didn't know how to going to make it. She was tired of fighting, struggling all the time. It seemed one problem solved, another one soon followed. Her father, her chef, took her to the kitchen and he took 3 pots and placed in the burner, and when it is boiling, the first pot he put potatoes, another pot he put eggs, and third pot he placed some ground coffee beans without saying anything. The daughter was upset and wonderingly seeing what he is going to do with this all. After 20 minutes later, he turned off the burner and took out the potatoes and the eggs and placed in a bowl, and ground coffee he filtered into a cup. And he turned into the daughter and asked, "What do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs and coffee," he hesitantly replied. And she asked, "What does mean this?" And father smiled and started to explain. "Look at these potatoes. Actually it is very hard, but with the boiled water it go with weak and very soft. Look at these eggs. Actually it is very soft liquid and protected by a small thin layer. But with the same boiled water it became a very hard thing. See these coffee beans. It didn't change. It has an uncued nature. When the same boiling water, it releases its aroma and very good fragrance into the water, and it changes the water." So, what kind of a person are you when any adversity knock on your door? How are you going to react it? Are you going to be a potato or an egg or a coffee? Dear Toastmasters, the things happen around us and things happen to us. The best thing is what we are going to do. What is the best choice you are going to make? And learn and adapt, and any situation you face it and make the best experience. So from today, any adversity knock on your door, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a potato or an egg or coffee? It's up to you. Over to you.
What a great message. So the question is, you want to be an egg, potato, or a cup of coffee? This is yours. So, if you look at this agenda, the theme of the meeting I have written Toastmaster. How many of you are familiar with the history of this Toastmasters International is all about? So, when I got this opportunity to take up this meeting, I thought we'll talk about Toastmasters. What is all about the Toastmasters? Even I am not sure. Last few days when I was Googling and I was going through the Toastmasters International website, I came to know many informations which I have never seen in my previous life. Because the 7th year I am in Toastmasters. So, now, what is Toastmasters? See, a worldwide non-profit education organization empowering people to become more effective speakers or leaders, for sure. That we read out every day, okay, in every meeting. Next, a network of 352,000 memberships. So we all are part of it. Altogether in Toastmasters International we have 352,000 members, and in 16,400 clubs. So Mussafah Toastmaster Club is one among that. and we represent in 141 countries. So Toastmasters International platform, this same platform, this same kind of meeting happens in 141 countries. And the best part is, every member, every meeting, every club, they follow the same structure. And the largest provider of dynamic, high-value, experimental communication and leadership skills development in the world. This is what Toastmasters is all about. Now, what is Toastmasters' mission? To empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. This is the mission of Toastmasters. This is what they put forward. We need, the world require more leaders to lead families, society, companies, organizations, and the country as well. Now, club mission. So we already read that club mission. Clubs provide a supportive and positive learning environment that empowers members to grow, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal achievement. When we say self-confidence, we all are examples of that self-confidence. When I started, 6 years back, when I started Toastmasters Live for Malayalee Samajam, the previous venue, I can still remember the first day when I came to the meeting, I was asked to talk about an apple in tabletop session. I couldn't complete that 3 minutes to talk about apple. When you sit in a social forum, you can talk about apple for an hour if you want. But when you come to a stage in a public format, if you are going with a subject, I could not complete 3 minutes with that subject, apple. It's not that I cannot talk about apple, but to put it the right way, that makes a difference. Today, if I can talk at least like this, it is only from Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters Club create speakers, communicators and leaders, and there is no doubt about it. Now, how many of you are aware of this format? Member comes first. The Toastmasters International stands for members growth. How it happens? Every member is a part of a club. Every member is a part of an area. It goes like that. So members come together and form a club. We are an example. Mussafah Toastmasters Club. And we have an identity. This number is a unique number. See? 1901915. Each club will have a unique number. Anywhere in the world, when we talk about our club, we will be identified by this number. Mussafah Toastmasters Club. And these clubs come together and form an area. Who is our area director? Malayalee. Okay, so he has got 5 clubs under him in his area. And all the areas, 4 or 5 areas come together and make something called division. And each area will have a leader as an area director, and areas comes together and make a division. And divisions, 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 divisions comes together and make districts. So when we talk about division, who is our division director? Now, what is our area number? Again, area is specified by a number. What is our area number? But the fact is, the club number never changes. This will stand with us always. But area can change, division can change. All these things can change. So now our area is what? 43. And division, who is our division director? Now what is the division number? Which division is it? See, last year there was a split. Now it has come H and U, I think, right? Now they came together. Previous year, we had 2 divisions in Abu Dhabi and Alain, H and U. But again last year it came together, H and U merged. Now it's only 1 division. Alain has come back to Abu Dhabi. And now all these divisions come together and create our district. So when we say all these divisions, it can be different countries. I think in our district we have got 4 countries. Anyone knows who is our district director? Not from first benches. Others? Yes, Sunil Kotarade. Sunil Kotarthil used to be our division director the previous year. Now he has, no, 2 years back. Now he has become the district director. What about district? They have the region, different regions. Asia Pacific will have different region, Europe will have a region, American continent will have different region. So there are regions. And this region, they will elect the board of directors of Toastmasters International every year. Then goes to world headquarters. This is a hierarchy. So this is a hierarchy of Toastmasters International. Now, what is the district mission? When we go to upper level, what is the district mission? We build new clubs and support all clubs achieving excellence. This is the district mission. And have you ever tried to understand what is the core values of Toastmasters International? As an organization, they have got some core values. Integrity. They stand for this core value. Respect each other. Wherever you travel in these 141 countries, and if you attend a meeting, Toastmaster meeting, you get that respect being a Toastmaster. You are identified. Once you are identified as a Toastmaster, you get that value. You talk the same language. Service, excellent. These 4 things are the core values of Toastmasters International. Integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Now, what you will experience in a club? Self-paced, hands-on learning environment. Regular opportunities to speak. Like a beginner, icebreaker speech is the first step. Then, say, table topic. Then you can move forward to the next level, that is prepared speeches. So 3 types of speeches. In a beginner, always, the first speech is the icebreaker speech. Last time we had our great Toastmaster, he smashed the ice, not just a breaking. So this is how it is. Then, honest and encouraging peer evaluations. Here what happens, when someone speaks, there are many Toastmasters to evaluate our speech. It can be by grammarian, or an accountant, or general evaluator, or a table topic evaluator, or it can be a speech evaluator. There are many evaluators judge our speeches. Then we come to know what mistakes we made and we improve from our mistakes. From good experiences, we never learn anything. Only from bad experiences we learn. When we make mistakes, others point at you. See, you have done something wrong. Then what happens? We learn automatically. Now, next is volunteer leadership opportunities. Access to your money. This is what you have, what you get as an experience in the club. Now let's move forward. Now, as per the agenda, we have only one prepared speech. Why? Because in the second session, we will have a pathway training. So, before I call the speaker, the timer, can you please explain the time allocated for the prepared speech?
Good evening, once again overview. The prepared speech allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green light. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow light. At 7 minutes, I will show the red light until the speaker is finished.
So, for the guest for information, so we have a light mechanism. A speaker who speaks less than 5 minutes for his speech, he will be disqualified. And again, if he speaks more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds, he will be again disqualified. So, every speaker will have an evaluator. So, today, for speaker number, for our speaker, Toastmaster Charles, we will have an evaluator, that is Toastmaster Arun. Arun, can you please explain the role of the objectives of this speech, please?
Toastmaster, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Toastmaster Doak Charles in particular. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening.
Today, I am going to evaluate the second speech of Toastmaster Charles. Organize your speech. There are certain objectives for this. Let me read it out. Select an appropriate outline which allow listeners to easily follow and understand your speech. Make your message clear with the supporting materials directly contributing to that message. Use appropriate transitions when you move from one idea to another. Create a strong opening and closing. Time allotted 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
If you look at your agenda, the evaluator's name is written as Jamal Sidena. Since he has not come today, I don't know he is doing the evaluation part. So, we have a speaker, Toastmaster Charles. Let us welcome him to do his second project on stage. Let's put his hand
Toastmaster for the evening, distinguished Toastmasters, and our guests, a warm good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Toastmaster Charles, and my topic for this evening is my journey of pain. My journey of pain. I don't know how many of you have encountered pain. Maybe while you're chopping some vegetables, some onions, and then you slice the flesh. It hurts, right? And you say it's painful. Or as a child, you're in the playground. You're playing, and then you just bruise your knee. It's painful, right? I know pain. Not just because I have been told about pain, but because I know pain. On my birthday, I went out to get my mother a gift. Because actually, I have been so close to my mother. She was so close to me, and I loved her so much. So I jumped into the car, I drove out. While I was at the mall, checking for a beautiful dress for her, I got a call. My phone rang. Oh, hello. Is this Charles? I said, yes. He said, your mother is in the hospital right now. Hospital? I just left my mother 30 minutes ago at home. I'm sorry, she developed a heart attack. Please, can you come over to the hospital immediately? I didn't know what was happening. I lost focus on the dress I wanted to buy. I lost focus on everything. I jumped into the car. As I was driving, I couldn't calculate. I was beating the traffic light. What happened to my mother? I reached the hospital. All I could see was, I saw through a glass. My mother was lying on the hospital bed. Doctors everywhere trying to resuscitate her because she was no more breathing. I could see the sphygmomanometer just reading up and down. I did not understand what was just happening. And then all I could see was the doctor. I just heard, clear. They did it again. My heart came up. I saw a bit of pulse, so I had hope. Clear again. They put it. The pulse came up again. And a friend was beside me. I was just squeezing his hand because she can't go. Not now. She can't leave. And the third time, they just increased the power. Clear. They put it again on the chest. Friends, it was clear that my mother was gone. This was a woman who had waited 15 years before I was born. For 15 years, she had no child. For 15 years, she was called barren. And I came after 15 years. I always wanted my mother to be around so I could buy her clothes. So I could take care of her and she would be proud. I didn't know myself all through in the hospital. I woke up in the house, I saw friends trying to console me, and it was hard for me. I was always good in comforting other people. I couldn't comfort myself. Every word of consolation didn't come. It is well, it's just for a reason. It didn't help. And so a friend came along the way and told me, Charles, you have to leave this town. I was like, where am I going to go to? He just said, you know what, just follow me. He's been a friend over a while, and I told him, okay, give me a week to pack. I wanted to pack everything I could. Pack my clothes, just gather some things after the funeral. And my bag was so heavy, I just picked all my mother's pictures. I put them in my bag. I'm like, packed all the clothes I could, and I kept carrying them, following him through the wilderness, through the desert. We went. And he was like, why are you carrying so much load? I was like, no, I'm going to carry this. Can I help you? You know, at the point when you are pained, everybody around you becomes annoying. When you're hurt, everything around you becomes annoying. It's not because you want to be annoying, but it's just because you don't understand that they understand, but you don't even want to believe if they understand the pain at all. And so, at a point, I couldn't carry the bag anymore. I was out of energy. So, I think I collapsed on the way, and he carried me. And when he carried me, I felt good that someone could carry me. It felt good to allow him carry me along the journey. I saw him throw my bag away. I wanted to scream, but I had no energy to tell him, why did you throw my bag away? But he kept carrying me. He kept carrying me. I slept off, and I woke up in a room. Beautiful, beautifully decorated. I will continue the story very soon, or maybe much later. But what am I trying to tell you? You have suffered pain. It's time for you to let go. For him to carry me, I felt good. Many of us, we have lost our jobs, we have lost our parents, we've lost our loved ones, we are still carrying that bag and walking in the wilderness. We are tired. People want to help us, but we don't want them to help us because we think they don't understand what we are going through. What are you going through that is so painful that you cannot let go? Who have you lost that you say, I can't just let go? What is that thing in your life that has so pained you that you say, I can't let go? The moment you let go, you find joy. That joy you've been searching for years. You can't find it when you're still holding on to the pain. I held on to the pain, I held on to the memories, I held on to everything. I want you to let go. I want you to let go today before you go. And that is the only way you can find joy. That has been my journey of pain. And if I did not let go of that bag, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Thank you very much.
What a great speech it was. If you don't let go of your pains and such bags, this is the on topic. Now, can I ask our timer for the report of the time?
Good evening once again.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Charles taken 7 minutes 18 seconds. He is qualified for voting.
Great. Now, again, can you just explain what is the time allotted for the evaluation?
Evaluation allotted time is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes I will show green light. 2.5 minutes I will show the yellow light. 3 minutes I will show the red light until the speaker is finished.
Okay.
Thank you.
So as I explained before, we have only one speaker. Why? Because we have a session called Pathway. So our delegates are here already. And now then we have the evaluator. That's Toastmaster Arun. Let's welcome Toastmaster Arun to do the evaluation part of the speech we listen now.
Good evening, Toastmasters and Toastmaster Charles in particular. Can we have a loud round of applause? Literally, I couldn't properly write anything when even if I have marked like this, because I was in this level when I heard that speech today. very nice. You are like an already experienced speaker. You can go to any level in this world. Coming to the particular evaluation point of this speech, it was related to organize your speech. It is primarily focusing on how do you get an idea and how we are going to execute with a proper opening, proper body and a conclusion. As such, I can see we pursued that aspect of these particular objectives very clearly in your speech. You could see the elements wherein you properly adopted that organization aspect, how you are going to deliver a speech here. If you take the opening as such, see what it says, there should be an opening which catches the idea, which connects you to the audience. You did that very well. I know the pain. Do you know where you don't know about pain? It's all well connected. Then, in your body, you organized and made a transition in such a way the audience are not getting distracted anytime. And what I loved is the way you did that organized speech, you properly introduced the personal story. And I thought like it would be extracting, where will you stop? And that transition, the point where we wanted to switch into the closing, you said, okay, I will tell the remaining part later on. And you concluded very well. And as the objectives say, the closing should summarize and reinforce the objectives. And your starting point, you did that very well. Just 2 points as a point of improvement. You connected to the audience, but afterwards you were like a performer, stage performer. Point you connecting in terms of eye contact, it was little bit less over to the audience. And preparation. Just try to prepare, practice very well when you come on the stage.
So that was Toastmasters. I don't evaluating the speech of Charles. Now let's see a few more facts about the Toastmasters since we are going to listen the pathway. So he's like getting ready, right? Okay. So now. Now, see just a few more facts. Like if you go through this, the first unofficial Toastmasters meeting was held on March 24, 1905. I never knew this because when I was googling in Toastmasters, I came to there was some meeting. Unofficial meeting was conducted in 1905. So we don't count that date. Then what happens? In first meeting, the official meeting was held on 22nd October 1924. The first meeting was held at YMCA building on October 1924. By 1930, nearly 30 Toastmasters clubs had formed, including a club in British Columbia, Canada, the first club outside America. Okay? And the funny thing, see, look at this. 1970, Toastmasters International admitted its first female member. They had to wait this long. From 24 to 70, they did not give a chance for a lady. What does that mean? Toastmasters International were not in the right track, I would say, till that moment. No, I'm for that. They kept it till 1970, the doors closed for ladies. And that lady, in 3 years, she became international president, the first female international president. These are the facts. These are some important points to listen. And now, I think we have time for table topic session or we jump into... Okay. So how long is this pathway is going to? Yeah. So we have two important Toastmasters here. Toastmaster Shannon, our previous division director, and Toastmaster Para, right? Para? Yeah. So they are here from Alain all the way to introduce something called pathway. It's something new to everyone. I've heard of this name pathway, but I am not at all able to talk about any of that pathway. I don't have any idea. So let us listen from these two gentlemen. Let us put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Shannon and few words.
No, that last been talking about it,
Okay, yeah.
So this is a new venue?
No, this used to be our venue, but we were trying to get a new venue, but some technical issues are going on, some maintenance. This is in a hospital, so sometimes.
This is our home ground.
This is our.
No, because we actually passed it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Google Maps came in early.
So he is one of our veteran Toastmasters. He used to be our division director. And how long are you with the Toastmasters?
24 years.
24 years. That's it. And he's from the US too, from the place where all these Toastmasters started.
You ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, how many of you, let's see, what do you know about pathways?
Nothing.
What
Nothing.
nothing. They've been talking about it for a year. Okay, do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? We're going to roll out
I'm sure that
pathways.
the DTMPO knows about pathways very well.
I don't want to call it.
So what we're going to, our aim tonight is just to get you more familiar about this great program that's coming out tomorrow. And we will all start having access to this. And I'm the Pathways Ambassador for 8 clubs. And to get this position, I did not have to take a test. That's for the Pathways Guide. He had to get 100% on the test in order to be a Pathways Guide. So I'm kind of like here for decoration, and he's here for the meat. So, Toastmaster Power.
Thank you. Thank you, the ambassador. Of course, ambassador is there to make relationships. Well, as your word of the day is euphoria.
Yeah.
So I think it is an excitement for every Toastmaster to embrace the new Pathways learning experience. I'm sure that this is another turning point of Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is a life-changing program. I'm sure that many of you have gone through it. And how many of you are more than 1 year in Toastmasters? More than 10 years?
Only one. And you too.
That is one.
Oh yeah. And we have.
So Pio, how many years you are in Toastmasters?
6 years complete.
Oh, okay. Very good. So you have grown very fast. Well, by the way, I'm also in Toastmasters for about almost 10 years now. And Toastmasters has changed my life. I'm sure that many of you will benefit from this program. And now it is more closer to the reality. The program is getting more closer to the reality, and it will be an exciting time for every one of you. Let's move on with the presentation, and I'm sure that Pio has educated you about Professor Ralph Smedley and the history of Toastmasters. Communication leads to the discovery of hidden abilities, broaden the person's conception of how to live with people. It brings out of use the leadership traits and abilities, and thus helps prepare the individuals to be a leader. So this says that the communication goes hand on hand with the leadership. If you are a good leader, you should be a good communicator most of the time. And when you in your organizations, when you become a supervisor, when you become your manager, so one of the most powerful tools that you have to use is the communication. So if you have the right kind of communication tools, you will be able to succeed managing the team.
The second part?
Yeah.
One thing we need to make sure we need some pictures for you guys.
That's right. Someone can take some pictures because we need to provide the evidence to the
It's automatically happens. And we have 100% recording also.
Yeah, all right.
You are online.
Oh, very good. So, by the way, Pathways has a separate team, and under the program colleague director PQD and the chief ambassador Umar Radhakrishnan, and they have appointed ambassadors and pathway guides. So the team was appointed in December, and we have given a certain amount of training and to educate all the members of clubs to get familiar with the pathway experience. It is not that we are the only people who knows that. I'm sure that many of you knows this information, but of course we have some information which will be useful, and this presentation will take you to the pathways, closer to the pathway program. So now, current program in Toastmasters, what do you have? You go through two tracks: communication and leadership. You have, when you join Toastmasters, you get a manual for competent communication and another manual for competent leadership. Those are the basic manuals. Now in Pathways, it will change. It's going to change. It's an integrated program. The leadership and communication goes together. You don't do separate. Of course, you have certain projects to do, but the manuals you don't get separate, like competent leadership and competent communication. So let's go through the presentation. You will get to know about the program. Why this Pathways? Now, as Pio has explained to everyone that history of Toastmasters has gone through officially about 95 years now, and 94 years. So every program or everything in this world change. So Toastmasters also, they found that they need a change. In 2010 they did a research and they found that program required an enhancement and it requires a change. They want to make a program which is closer to the real life, especially the professional life. So when they did this analysis, they found that most of the Toastmasters who joined the program, less than 10% reached the competent communicator level, and less than 1% reached the advanced communicator levels. So that itself, they found that yes, the program has to be more user-friendly and more, and people should have more options with more competencies. So what's new in the, I don't know whether you can see well, what's new in the program? Digital materials. Now you have, currently you have, yeah, thank you. Currently you have, can you see that?
Is it okay for everyone?
It's okay. See, currently you have your manuals are printed manuals. I have seen some manuals here. But Pathways, from tomorrow, you have manuals digitally. But of course, if you are a print person, you can ask for a print, but you need to pay additional amount for that. And effectiveness, improved mentoring and evaluations. Now, we all talk about mentoring in Toastmasters clubs. Now here, there is a separate module that you have to go through, a mentoring program, where you will learn how to do mentoring or how to get mentoring. So that's a difference between the old and the new program. I talk about the digital technology. And of course, every one of us use internet, and the gateway to Toastmasters is now through the Toastmasters website. I have seen your agenda that everyone has to get into the Toastmasters website and check your username and password, it is working or not. If not, if you know your membership number, you can put that and click on forget password, and then you will get an email to your, so you can reset the password and get into that, because hereafter you will be using Toastmasters website very oftenly, and your records are kept in the Toastmasters website. It's called the base camp. Okay, so your gateway to Toastmasters is the website. Of course, you will do the work in your club as you are doing now. focus, general to specific skills. Now we had competent communication, competent leadership. So now it is becoming very specific. You will see the paths when you see, those are very specific paths for you to reach your goals. And then the flexibility. So you have more learning choices than the current program. And the motivation, you get faster recognition. And as the research said that 10%, less than 10% reach certain goals, but here you will be able to reach your goals faster, and you get recognitions faster, which is some of the things that people would like to see, but for the speed you should not compromise the quality. Benefits of pathway. It is tailored, self-paced learning, flexibility to choose experience, greater access to materials, expanded resources, and real-world applicability. That is one of the things that you will see in this program, a real-world applicability. Rather than talking about competent communication, competent leadership, we will be talking about certain specific paths. Start and transition. So tomorrow is the date the pathway is launching in the region, our region, District 105 and Region 11.
And the reason how that works is that if we had visited the guides and the ambassadors had visited 70% of the, how many clubs in the district? 200. There was just a note that went out. So as long as we visited 70% of the clubs, then it would roll out. If we didn't do our job, then it wouldn't be rolled out.
So I think it is exceeded now 80%, almost 90% of the clubs have been visited. So you are lucky, one of the last ones people are visiting is this club. Tomorrow they are going to launch the program. From tomorrow to 2 years, there is a transition period. Now how many of you have reached CC or reached 7, 6, 7, 8 projects? How many of you have reached? See, you don't need to worry about it, you can continue and complete that. Now you have two options. One is that you go through the old path and complete up to the DTM. Okay? Or you finish your, let's say you finish 8 speeches, you can go up to the CC and then you go to the pathways. So you have the option either to go through pathways or continue with the old program what currently you are doing. But of course,
CC and the ACB, if you finish some project.
see, you cannot transfer credits. So you cannot transfer from the old program to the current program. What you can do is, you have 2 years period, you can reach maximum you want through the old program. In the meantime, if you want to do it current program, you can do that as well.
So that means by 2020 by default this will be pathway.
Yes.
So if you are not
from tomorrow, if someone is joining, he should take the pathway. Must.
no.
Mandatory.
So if I choose to go by the normal track, I have time only till 2020.
Yes.
June.
Yes.
Yeah. So suppose if I don't finish my DTM till 2020, automatically I will be moved to pathway.
That's right. Yes.
So only 2 years from
yes,
here.
2 years you have to complete. Otherwise, what you have completed only counted. See, you reach to ACB, Advanced Communicator Silver. So that credentials you can keep it, but you cannot transfer those to pathways. So you end up from there. And those who are joining now, they have no options. They have to go through the.
So that means your credit is not transferred.
Not transferred.
Everyone has to start from zero.
That's right.
For the projects.
Yeah.
But if you've got the administrative roles or things like that, those can transfer.
Yes, yes.
But there's another alternative too, and that's what I'm debating myself right now, to do both at the same time. So you have that option as well. It's not like you have to be here or there.
Yeah. So I'm sure that most of you will choose. If you have reached certain level, most of you will choose to go do both. Because you can keep your credentials from the old one, and you will be, I'm sure, tempted to do the new one because it is more closer to the reality.
But whatever achievements you have, those will always be there. So if you're bronze or you're gold or you're silver, you'll always be bronze, gold, or silver.
Yeah. So current members stay, this is what we have discussed, stay, switch or both. But the new members, it is mandatory to go through the pathways. There is no choice for them.
So
new members joining tomorrow, yes.
So tonight we have options.
Yeah, if someone wants to go through the old path, yes. Otherwise you have to go through the pathways on the 2 hours.
How about